Hello, this is Bob Gray Sr. Welcome to Ministry Moments. Lord willing, every Friday at 3 o'clock Central Time, not Eastern, Central Time. We're going to meet together and Ministry Moments, not very long, very brief, to the point. And you say, somebody asked me the other day, said, where in the world do those thoughts come from? Well, first of all, 48 years of ministry, a lot of it comes from, but it also comes from pastors and young pastors who call and who email and text and ask me questions. And then I try to answer those questions, and then it gets into my mind. And then every day, by the way, I give a ministry idea every day. You go to solvechurchproblems.com and subscribe, and you'll get those. Every day I come up with ministry ideas, and I put them on Twitter account. I think it's Bob Gray Sr. on there. I'm not sure. They may have shut me down by now. I don't know. But so you can get those every day. I try to give very practical thoughts to help with the ministry. Today, I want to talk to you about delegate or stagnate. Delegate or stagnate. I preach with Dr. Russell Anderson. He, of course, recovering from triple bypass surgery in his heart. And he's having a tough time recovering, get back, but he'll be back on the road. But that was one of his favorite statements to young preachers when we were together, delegate or stagnate. And so I want to talk to you about that. Very practical thoughts. So number one, oh, by the way, Solve Church Problems YouTube. You can go to Ministry Moments YouTube and subscribe. This way you'll get this just like this every week, Friday, 3 o'clock Central Time. Today, delegate or stagnate. Here we go. Number one, do everything yourself at first. Do everything yourself at first. The first church I pastored, we had 40 to 50 drive-in. We had on a high 90 on the buses, 130. And so I did everything, had to do everything, and enjoyed doing everything. My wife and I would unplug the toilets, and we'd take salamander heaters out and put them around the buses to keep the buses from freezing up when the snow and the cold would come. We only had 4 buses, but we had to keep them ready to go. We cleaned the building. We did our best to try to be a part of it. So do everything yourself first. I typed my own letters to begin with. I did everything myself. All right. Number two, every member is meant to have a ministry. Ephesians 4, 11, and 12. Every member is supposed to have, you're supposed to perfect the saints for the ministry. That's your job. So, and if you're not the pastor, then you ought to say to yourself, what ministry do I have? Because you're supposed to have something that you live for and that you'll die for. You say, look, this is it. I've got to do this, and have a heart for it. So number one, do everything yourself at first. Number two, every member is meant to have a ministry. Realize that's God's plan. Number three, look for those who have a heart for certain ministries. Look for those. Jack Lewis had a heart for the bus ministry. And we'd get those salamander heaters, but he changed the oil to do all the work. God bless Brother Jack. I don't even know if he's in heaven now, or I don't know, alive or not. But he had a wooden leg, and that leg was screwed on. And I went with him one time we were soul winning, and had 5 kids, and boy, they were rambunctious. So Jack got them all in the living room. I went in the dining room, sat down with Mom and Dad, and gave them the gospel, and they got saved. But during the middle of my presentation, the gospel was complete silence. These were horrible kids, but it was complete silence. So when I got done, I walked out, and as I said, Jack, we can go now. And all those kids sat there staring at Jack Lewis, just stared at every move he made. They just looked at him like that. We got in the car, and I said, Jack, what did you do to get those kids to calm down? He said, I unscrewed my leg. I said, you what? He said, I unscrewed my leg. He said, when I unscrewed it and then put it back on, they sat there, looked at me, and never said a word after that. So anyway, do everything yourself at first. Every member is meant to have a ministry. Understand that's it's a Bible principle. Look for those who have a heart for certain ministries. There are going to be people who have a heart for the bus kids. Some that have a heart for the homeless, have a heart for the nursing home, have a heart for Sunday school. There are people that have a heart for it. You need to discern who they are. Next, give them 6 to 12 months to prove it. Don't say a word to them, but give them, if you're looking for a leader in the bus ministry, a leader in the nursing homes, a leader in soul winning, a leader in the schools, whatever, You just watch them. That's all you got to do. You go about your business, you preach your heart out, you set the example, and just watch them. And after, I don't care if you transfer to Longview Baptist Temple, we're going to watch you for 6 months to 12. I am, because I don't know you. You don't know me. And we got to get to know each other. And I watch them. But when they have a heart, you see those convert slips come in, you see the heart, they show up for the bus minister heart. You got a leader in there somewhere because they have a heart for it. Give them 6 to 12 months to prove it. Next, use laymen as ministry leaders. When you first get started, you use laymen as ministry leaders. Next, choose from the soul winning members. Brother Duckett had a spiral notebook, and he would write down on Thursday night the people that showed up. And we got ready to choose a Sunday school teacher or some leader. Then I would call him in and say, give me the names. Just go down the names of those that show up for soul winning. And out of that, God would say so-and-so to my heart. And I'd say, okay, but where did I choose them from? Already going soul winning. The worst thing in the world you can do is get somebody to teach Sunday school and say, look, you have to go soul winning. You have to give tithes and offerings. That's not the way to do it. Find somebody who's already soul winning. That way you don't have to tell them. Find somebody who's already giving tithes and offerings. That way you don't have to tell them. They have to do that because they're already doing it. You got it? You look for somebody who's already separated from the world. Don't put them on hoping they'll become something. Make sure they are that before you put them on. So the next one is choose from those who give tithes and offerings faithfully. So number one, do everything yourself at first. Everything. Number two, every member is meant to have a ministry. Ephesians 4, 11 and 12. Get that stuck in your head. And when you look at them, I would tell my Sunday school class when I had the auditorium class, I would say, look, my purpose here is to get you out of here to teaching. I don't want you sitting here until you drop dead. I want to get you prepared and go and do something with your life. Well, there were some that God would speak to their hearts about it, but I'd watch them. Okay. Look for those who have a heart for certain ministries. Keep your eye open for it. Give them 6 to 12 months to prove it. Use a layman as ministry leaders. Next, choose from the soul winning members. Choose from those who give tithes and offerings regularly. Build them in the sight of the people. Now, once you've put somebody in and you said, this layman's got a heart. Oh, he's got a heart for that children's church or that junior church. Oh, he's got a heart for it. And so you put him in there and then you build him in the sight of the people. Every once in a while, stop and say, I want to thank Brother so-and-so, head of our ushers. Man, he does a great job downstairs. The head of our ushers upstairs. The PA man, the choir leader, whatever it might be, ushers, whatever it might be. You build them in the sight of the people. Number 9, meet with them weekly. Once you have found somebody 6 to 12 months and boy, they're faithful. And then you give them to be a leadership position over a certain group of laymen. Then you meet with them weekly. You help them to reach their potential. I would say to them, these lay leaders, I would say to them, for every problem you bring me 5 solutions. Don't bring me a problem. I can create trouble around here. You bring me 5 solutions for the problem you've got in front of you. And so when they would say, I have a problem with, I said, what are your solutions? Now I can choose which is the best solution, but that's their area. They know it better than I do. But I want them to think. And by the way, in those meetings when they'd leave, and I would have a folder for each one, I would write down at the end, I would say at the end on my notes, what do I owe you? Because in this meeting somewhere, they brought up something and I said, I can help you with that. And I wrote it down. I would always end the meeting with, what do I owe you? And then this, what do you owe me? That's accountability. So when the next meeting rolled around, that's the first thing I looked at. Did I take care of such and such and such for you? Did you take care of such and such for me? You got it? All right. Number 10, never rebuke them publicly. If you're going to rebuke them, you do it in that meeting that you have each week, but don't do it publicly. Don't do it publicly. Who said there was any perfect staff member? The only perfect one around here is me. Now, so you don't rebuke them publicly. Don't do that. You build them up publicly. And one time Ray Young told me they had a big day on the buses, but the buses ran late. And the majority of them didn't make it back for Sunday night. And man, it looked like holes everywhere in that auditorium. And Ray walked down, sat down. He saw that and he went, oh my goodness, I'm a dead duck. And Brother Hiles didn't say a word to Ray. Then the next week he said, Ray came in And Ray started apologizing. Preacher, I'm sorry. He said, well, Ray, what did you learn? Isn't that something? What did you learn? Now, Ray was already beating himself up, but Brother House didn't have to pounce on him. Now, there's a difference in leadership, too. If somebody does not go take responsibility for it, that's the time to put the pressure on them. But if somebody takes responsibility and says, Preacher, I'm sorry, well, that's no time to kill the guy. Just say to him, what did you learn from this? And it really makes a difference. Okay, we're talking about delegate or stagnate. Russell Anderson, that's his favorite. Delegate or stagnate. Number one, do everything yourself first. Number two, every member is meant to have a ministry, Ephesians 4, 11, and 12. Remember that. 3, look for those who have a heart for certain ministries. Next, give them 6 to 12 months to prove themselves. Next, use laymen as ministry leaders. Next, choose from the soul winning members. Next, choose from those who already give tithes and offerings regularly. Next, build them in the sight of the people. Next, meet with them weekly. If you're going to take these laymen, put them in I'm talking, Pastor, when you got nobody but just laymen, then you take those laymen and you meet with them weekly. Next, never rebuke them publicly. If you've got to put the hammer down, do it privately. Do it in your meeting, but don't do it publicly. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. It's a temptation now. It's a temptation, but don't do it. You know, it's like 99% of the people are for you and 1% aren't. And so you get so hung up on that 1% that you blast them, boy. You let them have it. And then you don't feed the 99% that are for you. Just take care of the 99%. God will take care of the 1%. I think Brother House told me the first year I was at Longview Baptist Temple, he said, put blinders on. Put blinders on. Don't pay attention to that school. Don't pay any attention to, just put blinders on. You win souls, you get them done. And we did. And it made a difference. Well, God bless you. This is Ministry Moments. Join us every Friday, 3 o'clock Central Time. And I hope this will be a blessing to you. And email me too, bgraysr@me.com. And 903-237-9019. You want to call me? Call me. I'll do my best to try to help you. And it may give me an idea for one of these ministry moments too, to be a blessing. But God bless you. Soul winning. You got a great day ahead of you for soul winning. Tomorrow, let's get people saved, get them to church Sunday, get them down the aisle. God bless you. Have a great weekend.